Right. We are live, Richard. So I'll just share the
Everest.
link with my on my Telegram channel as well, so that other people can also join.
Right, but we should reshare the link with our community though, right? So can you send me the link?
Yeah, sure.
And you should probably reshare the link on WazirX,
Right.
right?
Yes. Right. I'll share the link on the chat itself.
Okay, so I'm just waiting for WazirX to tweet it and I'll retweet it.
Sure. Richard. Right.
Okay.
Right. So, Richard, we are live. I have posted the link here. So welcome, Richard, to our channel. It is our pleasure to have you on our channel. And first of all, I would like to introduce you, Richard. So Richard is the co-founder of Vite. Vite, as you might already know, Vite is a blockchain project. It's a coin on many of the exchanges, and it is currently launched on WazirX. So welcome. It is our honor to have you on the channel, and we hope that we will have a really nice conversation with you. We'll get to learn a lot from you. We'll get some information, knowledge about blockchain, cryptocurrency, as well as the Vite project. Once again, welcome, Richard. So first of all, Richard, I would like to ask you this question on how did you start your journey on cryptocurrency? When did you learn? When did you come across this word, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, at first, and your entire journey through cryptocurrency?
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, first of all, happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me. So I started getting to really serious about crypto in 2018. That was the time when I started this project. Our project is called Vite Labs. We are trying to solve the scalability problem for crypto, for blockchain. And so I actually, before this in 2014, I got some Bitcoin as a gift. And at the time, didn't think much about it and immediately sold it. So probably one of the worst trades I've ever done or anyone has ever done. But then my family friend introduced me to my current co-founders for Vite Labs around 2018. We wanted to we wanted to solve the scalability problem for layer one smart contract platforms. And we were looking at Nano at the time. It was a very intriguing technology, but it didn't have any smart contract, and Nano does not want to incorporate any smart contract into their platform. So we decided to make our own based on Nano's technology. And that's how Vite Labs was born. And I'm happy to get into more about what Vite Labs is about later.
Right. Thank you, Richard, for the introduction. And it is great to know that you got Bitcoin as a gift in 2014, but unfortunately you sold it. So like everyone thinks, right, that if they were into cryptocurrency many years ago, that would have been a great thing for them. But eventually Vite is also growing. So I would like to ask this question in a very layman terms. How would you explain Vite? What is the project? Like if a fifth or sixth class student wants to understand what Vite is, so if you could elaborate on that and in a very simple word, so that our subscribers can also understand on what the Vite project is about, and how and what are the problems that it is going to solve using cryptocurrency world.
Yeah, I think one of the best ways to understand Vite is that it has a decentralized exchange running on top called ViteX, right? If you look at the two logos in my background right here, on my left here, at least the way I look at it, is Vite, the project, which is a layer one protocol. And then the logo on the right is ViteX, which is the decentralized exchange on top of it. So I think in simple, most simple terms is that we have a decentralized exchange. And what is so special about the decentralized exchange is that it is truly decentralized in the sense that there are many other decentralized decentralized exchanges that do not have a decentralized order book or decentralized or on-chain order book or on-chain matching engine, but we do. So essentially, this decentralized exchange is able to be a decentralized platform precisely because it is built on a chain that is highly performant, and that is Vite. So yeah, I can get into more detail about what this decentralized exchange is all about, but I think in very simple terms, just think of it as a DEX.
Right. So it is a decentralized exchange. So if we compare, right? So usually when we think about any blockchain, so there are problems pertaining to scalability, and there are high gas fees. So how does Vite help into this? So if you could elaborate. So these are the two questions I have. One is scalability part of this part of things, and the another is the fees, gas fees side of the things.
Yes. So we have zero fees for our transactions, and we achieve that through a special kind of ledger called the block lattice. In short, the block lattice ledger is different from the Bitcoin ledger or the Ethereum ledger because we have one chain per transaction. And then for any transaction to get on chain, it only needs to get on the individual account chain, which subsequently gets synced through the network. So that helps speed things up. And we also use delegated proof of stake, which is another thing that helps speed things up. Ultimately, for people to use our chain, it's a freemium model, right? Freemium. Mm-hmm. So you don't spend any gas at all to send transactions. But if you want to spend a very large throughput, right, large transactions per second, then you need to stake or lock a certain amount of Vite. So that accrues value to the token.
Right.
But you don't have to spend it. But the Vite doesn't get spent. The Vite just gets locked.
Okay. Right. So I also have another question. So when you started the journey of Vite, so at that time, what were the problems that you were trying to address? And during the journey, so during the years of journey, what are the new problems that you faced, and what are the problems that are currently solved, and what are the problems that are still remaining that you would like to solve?
Yeah, so the decentralized exchange is our major offering. And by operating this decentralized exchange, we actually discovered something. So for any asset issued on Vite that's native to Vite, a trustless transfer can be accomplished on Vitex. But what if you want to trade Bitcoin or Ethereum or Nano, right? So on this decentralized exchange, currently the state-of-the-art way of doing things is through a gateway, right? A custodial gateway. But that's not, in our mind, a great solution because it's not decentralized, right? So it's subject to censorship, it's a single point of failure. So we set out to try to create something called a Vite bridge, which will essentially connect different chains through a bridge technology. And that is the next thing we're trying to do. It's called Vite bridge, essentially crossing every chain through a generic and trustless protocol.
Right. Right. So as you talk about Vite bridge, so when I first came to know about Vite, so I started my research and I saw that like below Vite, there was a line which states, I have just noted down, bridging blockchain in multi-chain future. So that is the main line that is written on your website. So
right.
If you could, so if you could elaborate on that particular line, and if you could try to explain us on how that works and what does that mean for Vite.
Yes. So bridging. So first of all, we believe in a multi-chain future. I think at this point, it's not a winner take all or winner take most world. There will be many different blockchains, all with different communities, all with a lot of assets. And so I think it makes sense to position ourselves as someone that can try to bridge these chains together. Currently, there's not a single bridging protocol out there that does a good job of connecting these assets seamlessly between chains in a trustless manner. And so we hope to be that service provider. And it's a natural positioning for us. We already have a decentralized exchange. We trade many different assets, and the natural extensions that help those assets be traded in a decentralized way. So that's where we're at.
Right. And you are talking about Vite bridge. So are there any plans on when will it be released?
By the end of this year, we'll have an initial version. We call that Vite Bridge 0.1. So we will have a protocol set up to allow trustless asset transfer between the Vite protocol, our protocol, and one other protocol. And likely at this point, it's going to be the Binance Smart Chain.
Okay, nice. And another question that comes to our mind is, what are the use cases of WIT?
Yeah,
General.
right. So besides being a decentralized exchange, we're also a general purpose smart contract platform. So essentially any kind of DeFi apps you can think of, you can implement on Vite. So an automated market maker such as Uniswap can be done on Vite. You could have, let's say, a poker platform that's decentralized. You could have let's say, a lending protocol such as Compound. So anything that's already been being done on Ethereum can be done on Vite, but faster and cheaper.
Right. So this comes down to the scalability problem, right? So the transaction processing in a particular time.
That's right. So anything you can done on Ethereum can be done on Vite, but faster and cheaper. So scalability basically means faster and cheaper.
Right. What are the other different projects that WIT is working on? Like any other project that WIT are taking under them, other stakeholders, other developers?
Yes. So we have just launched a developer DAO. And the developer DAO is essentially a way for us to radically decentralize development on Vite, right? And so let me introduce you to a number of DAOs that have already formed on Vite. There's a meme coin called Vitamin Coin. It's a very vibrant community. They recently developed a tip bot for us. So people can essentially, you know how on Twitter now there's a Bitcoin Lightning tipping, right? So that can also be done. So we also now have technology to allow tipping on our Twitter. And the way it works is that you just tag a bot account, and then you can tip any kind of currency on Vite as long as that is issued on Vite. So like if you can tip BTC, you can tip ETH, you can tip USDT, you can tip Vite, you can tip Vitamin Coins to someone else for free, right? And that's all enabled by the Vite protocol. So that's one of the DAOs that facilitate this, right? That's come out of Vite that facilitate this. Another DAO that's doing something useful is called Vino. It stands for Vite and Nano, and that is a DAO that has created a gateway that allows Nano to be traded on our decentralized exchange as well. And what are some other key use cases? We're looking to develop all the DeFi things that I talked about, right? But we're hoping to radically decentralize the development effort. So that's why we launched the Builder DAO that I previously mentioned.
Right. So the DAO that you are talking about is decentralized autonomous organizations, right?
Yes.
So what? Right. So what do you think about? So this is the term that I am hearing a lot nowadays. So what do you think about the future of DAOs?
I think it's a great way to mobilize collective action on chain. It's global by nature. It has a culture of transparency, and it has this voting mechanism that allows democratic input into decision making. So I think this is something very, very novel, and it's going to be good. It's going to be great.
Right. So with considering the Web3 technologies, so
yes,
how would WIT help solve the scalability problem considering the Web3?
Yeah, so we use a ledger on the block lattice ledger. We use these delegated proof of stake, and we also have our own programming language. We call it Solidity++. We use message passing instead of function calls, so that allows asynchronous programming on our platform. All of these things are ways to speed up performance on the chain.
Right. So basically, the transfers that are done on WIT are free, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Mentioned. Okay. And if we consider the future of WIT, so if we I would not exactly say comparison, but if we consider with other blockchains like Solana and the new one that is recently in the market, Avalanche, and even if you consider about Cardano, right? So they also have the smart contract platform. So how do you think, like, what would be the future of Vite, and how would other blockchains impact on Vite, and how would Vite grow considering the competitions on the market? What are the new innovations that Vite is bringing into the market?
Yeah, so first of all, market is big enough for everyone. Web3 is coming, regardless of regardless of what critics might say. But I think the trend of having users own their own data, be able to verify results of their transactions, and not trust a third party in execution of a program, that's all coming, right? So the market is big enough for everyone. And then secondly, like I mentioned earlier, if it's going to be a multi-chain world where no chain takes all, or no one chain takes most, then we can position ourselves as a bridge across all these different chains, right? So when you mentioned Solana, Avalanche, and even Cardano, we could act as a bridge between them. So I think this is a great development, and we are well positioned to capture value in that new world.
Right. So the Vite bridge, it can be used for the interchain inter-cross chain transfer, right? And I
Yes.
also read about the cryptocurrency custody that Vite provides.
I'm sorry, what is your question?
So let us first start with the inter-cross chain transfer.
Okay.
Right. So
sorry, so what's the question?
So Vite bridge can be used for inter-cross chain transfers. Would you elaborate on that?
Right. So when you try to mint a, let's say we're bridging with Avalanche, right? Or bridging with BSC. So the way it works is that if you try to move a Vite-based token into a BSC-based token, right? One way to do it is through a gateway, which is a centralized solution. And with Vite Bridge, you would be able to do that trustlessly. So now you are able to move a Vite-based token to the Avalanche-based token, or from an Avalanche-based token to a Vite-based token in a trustless manner.
Right. Right. And I also there are some plans for NFT non-fungible tokens as well, right? With Vite. And
Yes,
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on NFTs?
Yes, we recently published a stack for NFTs. We actually had a hackathon, quite successful, 13 entries, and someone already submitted an NFT stack, which we're currently reviewing. But NFT is completely possible on Vite, and if implemented, it will allow zero fee transfer within Vite. So, and NFT is basically a way to establish digital relationship between art and owners. It's a new way of thinking about things, and I think it's going to be big.
Right. That is great. So it basically NFTs connects like people who are not completely into cryptocurrency, and they bring them into cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
It's a nice
right.
on-ramp.
Right. So would you tell us something about something that is not revealed yet, and something used that is coming up on Vite, and something like the most recent developments that is going on with Vite?
Yes. So as I mentioned, the decentralized exchange is our current flagship product, but we are trying to develop VBridge, which will connect different assets in a trustless manner. On top of this, we have the various DAOs that are currently keeping our ecosystem active. NFT is a new stack that we are also building. But all of these efforts, I think, would be much more powerful if we try to get the entire community engaged. That's why we're radically decentralizing building of Vite, right? And so Builder DAO will be a very tremendous effort for us. We call it Builder DAO.
Right. Right. So I think most of the questions that I got from our subscribers and my own questions, I have mostly covered those. But if there are any other things that I might have missed and you might want to cover about Vite, any other details that you would like to cover about Vite, so it would be great.
Yeah, so I think I mostly covered what Vite has been accomplishing and what our future plans are. I'd say in order to find us, just follow our Twitter, Vite Labs. Our exchange Twitter is ViteX Exchange. And on top of this, my personal Twitter is Gentso, GENTSO09. I also host a few different shows, which could be also useful for your viewers. I do a blockchain debate podcast where I invite hosts. I invite guests to come on and debate a hot topic of the day, such as Bitcoin's legitimacy, DAO's legitimacy, smart contract, whether smart contracts are truly useful and things of that nature. Very basic, but also controversial topics within blockchain. I also have a crypto comedy show called Crypto This Week, a 5-minute John Oliver style news satire. I publish every Friday. So you should check that out as well. And our Twitter account for the Blockchain Debate podcast is at twitter.com/blockdebate. And the Twitter account for the comedy show is at twitter.com/laughDAO. Laugh, LAUGH. And we're actually giving out laugh tokens. They are issued on the Vite. So definitely check that out. And we have a Discord channel now for the LaughDAO. You'll be able to find the link once you go to LaughDAO.
Right. Yeah, definitely we will upload those links in our description section so our subscribers can go there and check out the details. I think we have covered most of the questions that we had. So I think if there are anything else that you would like to cover, or
I think we've done a good job covering a lot of ground. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. And it was a great session, and we covered a lot of information. And it was from basic information regarding cryptocurrency to some advanced level information. So thank you for joining us today, and it was our pleasure to host you on our channel. Thank you very much, Richard.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.